Have you ever wondered how PTSD service dogs can help a substance use recovery? Let's talk about it. Okay, so basically I'm a research service dog, and I learn how service dogs help people with PTSD. PTSD is complex and unique to each person who deals with it. PTSD can cause people to become more closed off, avoid social life, have sleeping problems, and so much more. And sometimes people turn to substance use to cope with these symptoms. So the other day, my puppy brain was pondering, can service dogs help with substance use recovery? As I waited for my brain cells to come up with an answer, I remembered this website that talked all about this. When I went back to positiveconnectionslab.com, the research explained that after surveying and interviewing 5 Canadian veterans over 1 year, their studies showed that service dogs acted as a form of harm reduction for the veterans, meaning they reduced the social and health-related consequences of drug use. The service dogs acted as a form of harm reduction by motivating the veterans to decrease their use of opioids and alcohol and instead use less harmful substances like medical CBD to manage their PTSD symptoms. They did this so they could more easily train and bond with their service dogs since they found it more difficult to work with their service dog while using more harmful substances. The service dogs also helped interrupt the veterans' nightmares, help them engage more with people in their lives, and help distract them from their PTSD symptoms. So you might be thinking, wow, Rachel, service dogs seem to be really helpful for PTSD and substance use recovery. Why doesn't everyone have a service dog? Well, while service dogs can be really helpful, service dog training coupled with PTSD can be challenging. The researchers witnessed the ups and downs of the service dog training process and learned that the stress of training needs to be considered, and supporting the service dog teams going through that process helps to maintain the welfare of both the veteran and the service dog. To read the full paper and learn about our other research findings, visit positiveconnectionslab.com. Bye! So, when you think of service dogs, you probably only think of them interacting with their handler, right? Now, that's not technically wrong, but it's not the whole picture. Let's talk about it. So, a recent paper our research team published explored whether having a service dog in the home impacted veterans' relationship with their romantic partners. Past research has shown that PTSD can really negatively impact the quality of romantic relationships, and the stress of this can even put veterans' romantic partners at risk for developing mental health disorders. Now, while service dogs and their handlers definitely have a special bond and work exclusively with each other, our research findings showed that service dogs interact a lot with their veterans' partners too. The veterans' partners often helped care for the service dog if the veterans weren't able to, and treated them as part of the family. The service dogs helped the veterans' partners feel better about the veterans going out into public spaces without them. They knew that with the support of their service dog, the veterans would feel safer and be alerted to their PTSD symptoms. Having a service dog allowed the veterans to better connect with their partners and improve their romantic relationship overall. Pretty cool, right? Feeling safe with their service dog, the veterans are able to be more present with their partners. Even something as simple as holding their partner's hand in public again made a big difference in the quality of their relationship with their partner. Understanding all the support that goes into having a service dog and how they can benefit the handler's partner too helps service dog organizations consider the role of the handler's partners in the service dog training process. To read the full article, visit servicedogresearch.ca. Bye! Alright everyone, it's time for a Breacher Research Breakdown. Today we are going to be talking about a paper written by researchers in our office called Insights into Canadian Perspectives of Service Dogs in Public Places. Right, now for some background. Why the heck is this important? So, psychiatric service dogs help veterans with PTSD. They help them feel safe in public spaces and interrupt nightmares. But they can bring unwanted attention to their handler in public spaces sometimes. This can cause stress to the veteran and can interfere with the veteran and service dog's well-being. Okay, so you might be wondering, how can we make service dog teams feel safe in public spaces? Well, the first step is to understand how accepting the public is of service dogs in public places already, which is exactly what our researchers did. So 485 Canadians were surveyed, where they answered questions about their backgrounds and beliefs about service dogs in public places. They found that overall Canadians were accepting of service dogs in public places. Women were slightly more accepting compared to other groups, and people with pets were also slightly more accepting. This research is super important because it'll help inform service dog policy around public access and wellness concerns. To read the full paper and hear more about our research, visit positiveconnectionslab.com. Bye! Alright everyone, it's time for our research breakdown. So we're talking to you about a paper written in our office called Strengthening ZUEA, Understanding the Human-Animal Bond Between Veterans Living with Substance Use and PTSD and Their Service Dogs. So before reading this paper, I realized I didn't know what the heck ZUEA was, so I had to look it up, and this is what I found. So ZUEA is basically human-animal interaction benefiting human health. And it does this in lots of different ways. It says that pets are builders of social capital, they're agents of harm reduction, they're motivators for health and behavior change, they're active participants in treatment plans, and it can occur with lots of different kinds of animals. This study specifically looked at veterans working with their service dogs and how ZUEA applies to that. So the researchers conducted interviews with veteran service dog teams going through the service dog training process. And basically what they found was that dogs were builders of social capital by helping the veterans feel less lonely and bonding with them. They're agents of harm reduction by reducing their substance use and road rage. They were motivators for health and behavior change by increasing their physical activity. And they were active participants in their treatment plans by helping to reduce anxiety and depression and dark thoughts. So basically, the human-animal bond is super important for human health, and it shouldn't be underestimated. So for more findings, visit positiveconnectionslab.com. Bye! Oh, hey there. Do your pets make you feel like you matter? Let's talk about it. Okay, so let's talk about a concept called mattering. Mattering is the human need to feel important or significant in the eyes of others. Okay, so how do our animals play into this? Well, research in our lab found that for veterans with PTSD, their service dogs can help them develop this feeling of mattering, which ultimately helps with their PTSD symptoms. Now I'm going to hand it over to my research correspondent, therapy dog Zola, whose human Alexandria conducted this research, to tell you about how the veteran service dogs improved their PTSD symptoms and made the veterans feel like they mattered. Take it away, Z.
Oh hey, I'm Zola. So our study found that PTSD symptoms cause veterans to become socially isolated and feel judged by others. Social isolation creates a distance from meaningful social connections. The service dogs being a social support for the veterans allowed them to become closer to their loved ones and acted as a bridge for social connections. PTSD also caused the veterans to feel hopelessness. Working with their service dog and caring for them gave the veterans a new purpose in their life and made them feel significant, like they actually mattered. Something as simple as taking a service dog for a walk or playing with them gave the veterans a new sense of hope. Some even said it was life-saving. Back to you, Reacher.
Thanks, Z. So remember, friends, don't underestimate the power of the human-animal bond or the importance of meaningful connections and purpose in a person's life, no matter what they're battling. Mattering matters. To read more about these findings, go to positiveconnectionslab.com. Bye!